Sarah Lace, adult film star, content creator, co-host of the Burbank Misfits podcast, and my guest for the evening. You know exactly where you can find her at I am Sarah Lace. Links to all of her social media and her website are in the episode description below. Please make sure you support the creators that come on the show, otherwise they stop coming on the show. Sarah, it's a pleasure to have you on this evening.
Thank you so much for having me, Matt. Honestly, it has been a while since I have been a guest on a podcast.
Sure.
You know, usually I'm the one interviewing, but I'm very excited for this.
Number one complaint on my channel is, Matt, you asked a good question and then you followed it up with 6 more right next to each other and she couldn't answer it. So it's good to have someone on who's a talker who I can just ask a question, just shut up, Matt, shut the fuck, don't say anything. Go, let her talk. Sarah, let me start with the super basic question. Okay. You're living in a vanilla life at some point, normal, boring. You decide you need a change. How did you initially get into the adult entertainment industry and what field was it? Was it camming, stripping? Did you immediately go to start shooting for the big guys? Like, where did you cross, not in a negative way, cross that line from the standard world into the industry?
Funny enough, this actually is going to turn into a long story.
Okay.
The job I had before this, I was actually in the military.
Wow.
While I was in, I was only doing photo shoots, usually bikini stuff, some implied nude, but during that time it was never fully nude. But at some point my photos started going around and obviously people were enjoying it, but obviously that's not what they wanted for someone in the military.
Mm-hmm.
So we ended up parting ways and I kind of was like, all right, well, in a sense, I'm free. So let's do this. And I had a few friends who were models as well. And they, they filmed some fetish stuff, some amateur scenes, and they kind of helped me get into that side of the industry. So I evolved from regular modeling to nude. And then I actually started my very first scene. My friend, I was supposed to go with her kind of just like as an escort because she was supposed to do like a bondage scene, some light BDSM, flogging and stuff like that. But she had bruises from a previous BDSM scene that she did a couple days ago. But I was unbruised since I didn't do anything like that. And so they didn't want to call the scene then and there. And they kind of just looked at me and were like, hey, the opportunity is here. Would you like to film some fetish stuff? And at that point, it was non-penetration, but it was still like just like a little tease or an appetizer to what the industry was. And I truly, truly enjoyed myself. And so from there, I was just like, you know what? Let's do this. Like maybe I'll start off with some solos. And then I hopped onto like amateur scenes and stuff like that and really just evolved to who I am now.
So let me ask, this is not something I knew. I've done so many of these interviews. I've talked to like some of the queens of like BDSM and this and that. You can't have, and I guess it does make sense. The girl you came along with, you can't have bruises going into that scene. Do you think that's part of like the allure of the porn? Like you have this quote unquote clean, like no marks or anything girl, and then you're marking her during the scene? Or was it not like a marking scene?
So that scene wasn't necessarily a marking scene, but for them, they were thinking more about the health and wellness of the actress.
Oh, okay. All right.
They were thinking like, you're going to have to be tied up for 3 more hours and you already have bruises, which means that, your blood is clotting and there's stuff going on in you. Your body's trying to heal already. We can't be damaging your body even more during this healing process.
That's so crazy that my first thought was, oh, well, it's going to fuck up production. Now let's move on to the next girl. I am not a monster. But I immediately was in that business mindset. I get it being in that mindset. You're like, hey, we got to get shit done, today. I want to bring that up later because I want to talk about doing your own content and what it was like, to switch over or to try and step into that world. But so let me ask this. This question's on here, and you kind of gave the job backstory, so I don't know. But my question is, did you have any jobs before you got into the industry, and did you take any of those skills and translate them to the adult world? Now, you were in the military. What did we get? Did we get like organization? Like, are you able to, you talk. See, this is what I do. Go ahead.
Yes, I feel like I can definitely be hyper organized. I do think that sometimes that can be a fault because I will make so many lists and keep going, be like, okay, for one day I need this list, other days, stuff like that. But one thing about me is I always try to do my research to the best of my ability. So, for example, we had this podcast. I actually have it on my schedule where our podcast is scheduled 15 minutes earlier.
Okay. All right.
So I always try to be 15 minutes early to things. Or, for example, for this, I use those 10, 15 minutes in order to set up my equipment and stuff. So
Sure.
The military definitely has helped me with scheduling, organization,
structure,
and endurance as well.
Yeah. Oh, endurance as well. That is interesting. Now, I just put this theory in my head, and I've never thought of this before, but I'm like, well, let me try and come up with something unique for porn. And my last idea wasn't great. It was like Airbnb porn. It was like a lot of stationary cameras kind of around the house, and you play up a scenario. And then another girl was like, they do that shit already. And I was like, oh, all right, that's dumb. So what about porn star boot camp? Have they done that yet? Or if you grab like girls who want to start OnlyFans and we get them like a little bit more in shape, we get the endurance up, nothing wrong with them, and there's all kinds of body types. I don't want to defend myself every time. I love everyone. Everyone's good.
Right?
But we tone these girls up a little bit more. We teach them about structure, about waking up early. Quick, get on Chatterbait. Quick, da-da-da, like we do that. Is there anything like that? And can we turn this into content?
Honestly, I don't think that we have that just yet.
Sure.
I know that there are some kind of like reality style shows where they have people kind of like fake dating to
Sure.
just so they can get together or whatever. But I don't think we've done any kind of porn star boot camp. But what you were saying about endurance, though, is there's more than just physical endurance. There's mental endurance as well.
Sure. So
this boot camp would definitely be for all sizes if we do decide to do that.
Oh, yeah. I would. Yeah. And all right. Now, if this is too personal, please tell me to dial back because I've heard this before. Are you, and again, I'm not going to delve deeper. I just want to make a greater point. Are you what they refer to as a legacy military brat, or were you the first one in the military? I only ask that because you have a ton of performers in this industry. Anna Fox is who I think of, who was a military brat, I believe. Alex Fox got out of the military. There's been a few that I've actually talked to. Is there something in that? First question: did you grow up like a military brat, moving around at all, or no?
I actually was not.
Okay.
I'm actually first generation citizen. So
wow. Okay.
In a sense, my generation is the first ones to kind of make something of themselves within the U.S.
That's great. And that is the American dream,
Absolutely.
So whatever you can do to make your way through the world, whoever's going to judge you isn't paying your fucking bills. So fuck them.
Exactly.
That's how I feel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then I wonder what it is. I need to do a deeper dive into that. You'll be in my group, my test group of people who I'm like, okay, former military, what caused you to decide to do this? Blah, blah, blah. All right, makes sense. Good.
I mean, if you think about it, military people, you're running all day, you're dealing with things that are high energy, high adrenaline.
Yeah.
And if you think about the fight and flight responses, what happens after that? Is the want to reproduce, actually. It's just that human instinct. So in a sense, after the adrenaline's gone down from the day, you kind of just want to fuck.
Smartest breakdown I've heard of that. Yeah, that makes total sense to me. I bet the horniest dudes in the world are like undersea welders A guy who's just in an intense situation and he comes up and he's like, I got to throw it in something, please, right now.
It could definitely be.
Let me ask this. And again, I don't like to delve too deeply, even though my show is called Going Deeper. But what type of girl were you growing up? Were you like a shy, good girl? Or like, could people kind of telescope this might be a career path for you? Like, oh God, there's that Sarah Lace girl again.
Funny enough, I was actually that shy, nerdy girl, kind of like a do-gooder. I mean, I still skirted around the rules to an extent. Like, I was doing other people's homework for them. Like, I was getting paid good in that side hustle. But at the end of the day, I didn't just let people freely cheat. I still tried to also make sure that they knew what they were learning, or like whatever I'm supposed to, like, if I'm supposed to write an essay for them, I'm still going to kind of like tutor them on what that essay is about so they understand it. And then I'm just going to write the essay for them and they'll give me like $20.
Nothing blows me away more than interviewing performers who, it's just so funny because you have the outside perception of performers, right? Here's my ignorant, dumb caveman perception. Yeah. Sarah Lace wakes up, she goes to set, she does her hair, she fucks a guy, she comes home, and then she gets paid millions of dollars. And you go, well, that does sound like a pretty good job. But when you actually look at this, what's so funny to me is I asked that question because I want to hear if, like, you know, ooh, you had a lot of boyfriends, or, oh, you couldn't keep a relation. Your answer was, oh, I would ethically do people's homework for them as long as I can explain it to them as well. It's like, oh, all right. So how do we connect the dots to here?
Honestly, I don't know. I think I was in that shy bubble for so long that I was like, you know what? Let me just have my moment. Like, because I'm originally from Texas. And when I started, I was in California. So I was like, this is a whole new world.
Sure.
Let's explore it. I'm an adult. I'm responsible. I know what I'm doing. And even my friend who took me to that first BDSM scene, she taught me all about like the rules for consent and everything. So I was like, you know what? This is a safe practice. Like, there's paperwork and testing and so much involved. Let's do it. You know, let me try this in a safe manner.
For sure. Well, okay. So you just described what sounds like a good set. Again, my idea was immediately like, oh no, get a new girl in here. I don't want to see those. No. It was for her safety. That's a good set. Let me ask you, and I'm not going to ask you to name anyone specifically, but I assume you have also worked on bad sets in your career.
Yes.
Okay.
I have.
What separates a good set from a bad set? Mostly, like the most glaring thing.
Sometimes the simplest thing will be if they do not have a videographer.
Wow.
Or if their paperwork just kind of looks a little off.
Yeah.
Like, even if you haven't like signed paperwork before, sometimes you will look at it and you'll be like, this looks like it's been photocopied like
a million
5 different times,
yeah.
You know?
Copy of a copy of a copy. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. So just, I mean, just saying this line here sounds worse than it is, but creating the perception of professionalism is what should be done, right? Come to you with fresh paperwork, you know. The one complaint I heard from a girl, the last interview I did, she said she showed up to a set and there was a dirty shower. She said, bare minimum, just make the shower clean. Someone clean out the shower. Because I'm going to want to wipe all this off afterwards, and I don't want to get in some grimy, shitty, you know, shower. Have the facilities nice enough, right?
That is true. That is definitely true. But there's certain things like that are out of their control. You know, like sometimes they're given a location, or the location they originally planned ends up not working. So they find something at the last minute, and you kind of just work with what you have. So I feel like sometimes you kind of like lower your expectations just so you're happy. But I feel like in general, there is something about like, as long as the set is safe, I'm fine filming whatever random role play we're about to do, you know?
there's some producer on a podcast right now going like, and FedEx Kinko's was closed, so I couldn't make copies, and I had to print out an extra one, and Sarah hated it, and but that's okay. Okay, all right. Let's do a thing I like to call.
Look, so my complaint for that though was
okay, all right.
The paper was like this.
Yes.
And this was what I had to work with.
Okay, all right. So they didn't even size it properly.
Yeah, I'm already half blind, so I was like, I can barely read this. Like, that was the complaint. It wasn't anything like too bad. But I was like, okay, we're just working with this.
Sure,
that's the right paperwork.
Sarah, I want to do a thing I call stat check. Now, here's the thing. These numbers are entirely wrong. It is from the Internet Adult Film Database, which is kind of like the Internet Movie Database, but for adult films. Here's what they don't include. I don't know, like half the scenes you've shot, like none of the OF stuff, like whatever. I'm just using it as a metric as at this date in time, these were the numbers of your career. And then a year from now, when we check in and you're drowning in AVN awards, I'll be like, oh, Sarah, things really took off. Huh, wasn't that wonderful? Sarah Lace, you have shot 111 scenes. You have worked with 29 women. You've worked with 52 men. Been nominated for 3 AVN awards. I only say AVN because all the others, it's too much to balance. You are, I believe, a nominee or a winner of an Urban X as well?
Nominee.
Okay, good enough. That's fair. Just being recognized is good. 3 noms, no AVN wins yet?
Not yet.
We're saving it. Saving it. There you go. Does anything stand out to you, and maybe the answer is no, as your defining scene to this point? Is there anything that fans most, commonly come up to you and be like, your shot on this thing was fucking da-da-da?
I will say the one that probably changed the trajectory of my career was actually my Bang Bros scene. Was my first truly professional scene. Okay. I was naughty maid, cleaning up some pipes. We'll go with. It was an anal scene, which I had only filmed a couple of times before. Mm-hmm. So it was, it was definitely a big scene for me to do. And it actually ended up being a top banner ad on the hub.
There you go.
Yeah. So that one definitely changed, also how I performed as well.
How did it change how you performed?
Because I was actually able to be with even more professional performers who, they film differently as opposed to at that time it was little amateur me.
Sure. Again, if it's too much to delve, you don't have to explain it, but how is it different? Is it just having more people on set, professional equipment or whatever? Is it them doing sticking to a schedule versus collaborations you would do, or maybe even a thing you're establishing yourself? How does it separate from that? It just, everything is in the next level?
Honestly, yeah, it is definitely a big boost up. They don't have a specific schedule, but they'll give you a call time. And usually at that time, you get in the makeup chair, you get your hair and your makeup done, and they give you the script. Sometimes you'll get the script before, or sometimes you'll just get it while you're in the makeup chair. You get to read through it, you figure out what you're about to do, pick your outfits and stuff. Then we get to the pretty girls. We do that striptease and everything. And a lot of the times there is a photographer and a videographer.
Okay.
Just because they want to make sure their craft is the best and they know what they're best at. So we'll have a photographer that will even give us tips and tricks on how to pose. And that'll keep helping us on with our, with our future scenes. And we get some time to interact with our co-stars, kind of learn their likes and dislikes and stuff like that. And we get to make the scene the best that we can. And I think one of the big differences is also the kinds of questions that they ask you on set. And sometimes they will also have an assistant that's there just to make sure that you know that you're safe on set, that you can call it at any time. Like you can pull them to the side and you don't have to say things to anyone else. You can just leave if you're feeling unsafe. And though that's never happened to me, it's great having those extra steps.
I wouldn't have pictured that. Again, I've been doing this a long time now, and it's just, that sounds even more professional than the professionalism I knew that the bigger sites already had. What was, in your opinion, have you ever shot a scene that was so intense you almost considered walking off? Not that it was bad or negative, just that it was intense.
Honestly, not really, no, because I kind of set my boundaries for work kind of lower than my personal boundaries.
Sure.
Because I don't really want to get myself, obviously, we all have to be vulnerable to a certain extent, but I only want to be a certain level of vulnerable on camera.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So I don't do anything that's like too mentally difficult for me.
Sure.
You know?
Okay.
Like I don't do any kind of degradation, like face slapping, stuff like that. So a lot of my experiences tend to actually work well with my praise kink.
Sure.
Everyone's calling me a good girl and like stuff like that, So even if we're doing dirty things, I still get that praise.
How, all right, I'll just be totally straight and honest with you. I was like, I'm worried I'm going to have to walk the line with this one because Sarah Lace is obviously gorgeous, but I'm nervous she's going to be tough as shit and kind of like if I ask a dumb question, she'll be like, no, not at all. You're a total sweetheart, it seems like. It seems like, I don't know, don't piss her off, but is that just your personality naturally? And is there a switch? Like if someone really pisses you off, are you going off?
Yes, there is definitely a switch. There's very few people who have actually seen it, but usually my switch either comes due to a safety issue or a disrespect issue.
Sure.
Because I am very happy and bubbly and stuff like that, but you say the wrong thing about either my friends or myself, when it has to pertain to our actual physical wellness, or even just our mental health as well. Like, I will not let that stand. Okay. Yeah, okay, so for example, one time there was a fan that was getting just a little too, grabby.
Sure. Not
with me, but with a friend. And basically, my friends and I were all noticing it, and we started to cluster around her. And the other person, the fan, was still in very, very persistent. And so that switch just kind of flipped when they kind of kept making comments, and I was like, "Oh hell no, you are not about to do this! I will get you the fuck out!" And so they heard me go from bubbly to this very serious face. In a sense, it's like my military face. I'd be very firm and everything. You're not going to push me, and that kind of scared everyone quiet. And they all looked at me like, "Oh, okay." And I was like, "Yeah, no, we're not letting this happen."
Was that at a convention?
This was outside of an event.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. Right. But basically that fan was trying to grab her and physically pull her away from our group.
Oh, that's kidnapping, bud.
Yeah,
you're not allowed
exactly.
to do that.
Someone was like, "Oh, fuck no. This is not happening on my watch."
So funny. I just had a conversation with another performer about conventions. Do you ever do any of the conventions? The only one I go to, I live in Jersey, so I go to Exotica Jersey, and that's just to meet the people I've interviewed. Yeah. Do you go to them? Do you do them? And do you like them?
I usually actually do about 4 to 5 conventions a year.
Wow. Okay.
So I either start with AVN or X3, and then I always go to Exotica Chicago, Miami sometimes, and then Jersey for sure, and then DC sometimes.
Okay, all right.
And then of course there's XBiz Miami, which sometimes.
Sure. We all appreciate it as fans of all the performers' work. We love it. What do performers get out of doing that? Is it a great promotional tool for you guys? Is it a networking tool? Like you get to meet other people to collab with, other producers? Okay. Is that what it is?
Honestly, I feel like the best thing about it is the networking. And at the end of the day, we do love meeting our fans.
Sure.
You know, because at the end of the day, they're seeing this 2D version of us. They're only seeing what we give to them, you know?
Yeah.
But they get to come in to the expo for 3 days and they get to see us just hanging around with friends, like kind of goofing off and doing our thing, you know?
Sure.
You will randomly find us like making out or twerking, like
just to any listeners though, show up respectful. That's all you can do. Just be respectful. You're going to see some cool shit. Some girl will probably be like, hey, put your hand on my ass for this picture, but don't just do it without like asking or being told you're allowed to, okay? That's not what we want. No kidnappings.
Right? I usually try to do a post before every expo because I feel like there's always something, you know? Like, I always have to tell them, like, hey, if you see someone you like, go and introduce yourself first. Tell them your name. Okay, like I have to kind of boil it down to that because I'm like, sometimes people don't even come up and say hi. Like they'll just go and take a picture. They'll walk up and try to grab or try to hug, and you're just like, whoa, say hi first. Like,
sure. Yeah, I did that to Joanna Angel. I didn't touch her or anything, but I had a business card and we were at Exotica, and it was when I was first starting the show, and I was going to go up and go, you know, hi, Joanna, it's really nice to meet you. My name's Matt. I wanted to know if I could possibly get you on the show. Here's my business card. I'd love to reach out, da-da-da. And as I walk up to her, like some thing happened in the background and some security went over, and then she looks at me and I just walk up and I go, here's my card. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I didn't touch her. So that's a win, I guess.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Like, I'm sure she could obviously tell that you were shy and flustered.
Sure.
And we completely understand that. Because at least you were still respectful and everything.
Sure.
Know?
Yeah. Shy and flustered, stupid and moronic. Either way, however you want to put it, I was definitely one of those. For sure.
At least you didn't come up and try to put your arm over her shoulder to take a quick pic without even saying hi.
Yeah, no. I don't touch anyone at those events except for the New Jersey last year. By the way, Exotica, you are getting your money's worth in New Jersey because last year I couldn't fucking move. I couldn't. Everyone was so tight. It was so packed. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Those are a lot of fun, and I'm glad performers get to come out and do them if they want to. You know, you couldn't pay me to go out there and shake people's hands. Nice to meet you. Ugh, I'm just too.
Oh gosh, and then the expo flu.
Oh, what now? What is that? That sounds dangerous in this industry.
The AVN flu.
Okay.
They call it the AVN flu, really. But usually after any conventions, especially if you're shaking a lot of hands, grabbing a lot of business cards, and maybe even making out with people, you know, we do. There's so much contact with different germs and stuff. Like your immune system's just trying to fight it all. And a lot of people end up with like a cold or a flu kind of thing.
Outside perception. Again, the ignorant outside perception. Wouldn't you be blown away if I told you a porn set is so much cleaner and less viruses than the convention center in New Jersey? Well, in New Jersey, you throw that in there and people start understanding why the viruses have popped up. That makes sense. Okay. All right,
yeah. I usually buy a brand new bottle of sanitizer to bring to every expo.
Yeah. Have you gotten sick from it? Have you caught the AVN flu, expo flu?
I guess I could, from the expo flu about 2 to 3 times a year. Oh. I feel like it's every other one, you know, especially it's like the bigger ones is when I tend to get sick more just because there's more people. But I feel like I've built up my immune system over the years. So lately, only like twice a year, really.
I have on one of the hottest girls in the world, a performer who does amazing things. And my next question to you is, you ever take a whole bunch of zinc before you do that? Because maybe you won't get as sick. I'm like, let's come up with I had on Cubby Thompson, who's just an amazingly beautiful girl. And I asked her about what it's like selling her calendars and how much in advance she has to order things. I'm an idiot. So let's just establish.
So one of the ways I try to combat that is I do have my multivitamins that I do try to take every day in general. And then when I'm traveling, especially, I'll bring Pedialyte packets. Instead of buying the actual Pedialyte bottles, you just buy the packets and just kind of fill them into a regular water bottle. Stay hydrated, especially if you're like on the West Coast where it's basically the desert. You have to hydrate more if you're not used to that. And then I try to get the vitamin C's to just kind of give me that extra boost. But I'll be honest, like, I feel like I usually forget about the vitamin C's and I just stick to my vitamins and hydration.
There you go. There you go. Sarah, let me talk about your content and what you like to make and what you create. All right. So if I were to head over to your OF, which is obviously I am Sarah Lace, please make sure. Okay. Bare minimum. I always say this. Social media is free. You have to follow the folks that come on the show. Bare minimum. You have no money, you're broke, you're homeless, but you have a phone and you listen to podcasts. Follow these folks. Next step, sign up for their websites or their OF. You have to. You support them. You like their content. You enjoyed listening to Sarah talk today. Go pay for that stuff. So if I go to your OF and which is again, I am Sarah Lace, links in the episode description. What kind of content am I seeing? Is it a weekly update? Is it a daily picture? Is it a monthly big video? Are there pay-per-views? Are there not pay-per-views? Talk me through. Give me the experience of Sarah Lace's OF.
Sure thing. So I will give you two things.
Yes,
I will
please.
give you my attempted schedule, and then I'll give you what actually happens. Because, we all try to balance this out. So I do try to post every single day, and I have like kind of a set list of things that I like to post on each day. But in general, I kind of post at least 3 to 4 times a week.
Okay. All right.
Especially, I would say Sundays, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Okay.
So Wednesdays, there's usually at least a 5-minute video that goes straight onto the feed.
Okay.
And then Fridays, I like to do fetish content, Lynn. So you'll get different types of fetish teasers on Friday on my feed. And then I will put the full version of it as a pay-per-view. Okay. And then I kind of like to do like a little 5-minute version of it for the feed too, just in case you want like an extended teaser.
Okay. So Fetish Fridays, which is cute, obviously. What are some of your favorite fetishes? And then I'm going to ask the inverse of that afterwards, just so you're aware. But what are some of your favorite fetishes to create, to put together? Stuff that either you like creatively or it really turns you on too. So fuck it, you might as well throw it on film.
So one of the big things that I do, I'll be honest, this is more because it's easy.
Okay.
A lot of foot fetish stuff.
Sure.
It kind of takes less energy to do. So I feel like I'm able to film more of that. And then I do like to do, I feel like I have a lot of fans that have, I guess you can call it like an oil or lotion fetish. So I kind of have them worship either my ass or my full body. And I'll just pour lotion on me and I kind of water it down so it really drips down.
Yeah, okay. I'm signing up. I'm a fan of that too. Yep. Yeah, I like the oil. That works. Works for me. Shininess always works for me. What is the number one request that when you see it in your inbox, maybe, do you do custom videos first? Let me ask that. Okay. What is the number one request that you go, well, absolutely fucking not, and you delete it? Or is there any, or are you willing to take on any task?
I haven't gotten too many like crazy requests lately, but obviously not obviously, but I tend to get like pee requests and stuff like that, which I will just not accept.
Sure.
And mind you, on the OF terms of service, they don't even accept that. So the guys are there trying to ask me for this, and they're trying to write in like little keywords and try to say it without saying it. I'm like, look, just no, like, no, thank you. Like,
I've heard stuff in the past that girls will get their accounts suspended or lost or whatever for something someone else is commenting. So I'm hey Sarah, do you ever do piss escort stuff? Like, is that going to get you booted?
Yeah, that can get me flagged.
That's fucked up. That's really fucked up.
Yeah, so that's why sometimes like we may not want to do it because we're like, okay, you may just not know. But that's why sometimes we will flag them just so it shows like, oh, we're not accepting that.
Sure.
We're going to flag them. So the system doesn't flag us for accepting it by default,
Can't lose your livelihood over someone else's request, or you shouldn't. Like they should be able to. It's really ridiculous that a tech company in 2025 can't look at it and be like, oh, her response was to block him. She clearly wants to do this against our term. What are you talking about?
Exactly. So that's why we try to either report or block. We're like, okay, like usually we'll give them a warning. And I have this like screenshot that I'll just send to them like, here, this is where it says that it's against the terms of service. Okay. It's not because of me, but also it's because I don't want to do it,
So let me ask, has anyone been, and maybe this actually surprised me too in these interviews, it's not as common as I would have thought. Did you have any mentors in this industry? Anyone who kind of showed you the ropes? Anyone who walked you through it, or did you learn it all yourself?
I will say that I may not necessarily have mentors, but I feel like all of my peers kind of mentor me in a sense. Because we go to any of these events and we'll sit there and we'll actually we'll either chit chat or we'll talk about work and like exchange numbers and then start asking each other questions like, hey, how did you do this? Or I'm having trouble with this. How did you respond to that? Or how do you say no to this kind of question? Okay. Things like that. So we all kind of just ask each other and kind of build each other up that way.
Okay. All right. So in terms of shooting big scenes, like mainstream stuff, and is there anything you want to dive your teeth into in terms of like a type or a fed or anything like that? Is there anything you don't feel like you've gotten your fill of yet? And it could be something as basic as you want to do more talking parts. You want to do more, I don't know, you can go the other way with it and go gangbangs, whatever it is. Is there anything where you're like, I want to do more of this. I wish I would get more calls for this type of scene.
Yeah. Well, I love storylines. I love playing scenarios, being another character and kind of just role playing that the entire way. So I would say that is kind of what I like to keep doing. I kind of describe myself as that like girl next door. So sometimes when they throw me into these role play scenarios and I have to be someone completely opposite, it's actually really, really fun because I'm like, oh, okay. Like Sarah's being a mean girl today.
Are there any trends or common things that you want to go away in the industry? Meaning you're like, I don't do that type of thing normally. I'm not interested. It's very popular right now. I don't want that.
I don't know. I'll be honest. I feel like everyone is fulfilling a different niche that the fans are looking for. I will say probably the only thing that I don't really like so much is the weird viral content, the ones where they kind of overdo it just for the views. And you're like, you don't have to go that far. Like,
what do you mean by that? Are we talking about like the big OF show type things that people have been doing over the last couple of years? No?
Like the girl who fucked like 1,000 guys.
That's what I mean. Yep. Yeah.
And then wanted to do like some box thing. Essentially, she wanted to be in a box or in a cage and have, I think she said 2,000 men or whatever, have their way with her while she's like blindfolded and like I don't know, stuff like that. It's like, okay, first of all, that is a safety risk. At this point, like, you're not even thinking about your own well-being for this. Like,
and you might step out from that and say, well, it's her choice, let her do whatever. But it creates an impression of your industry where now it's almost like if a baseball player, a big famous baseball player, hugged every person that came up to him. Oh my God, I'll hug everyone. That's kind of my thing. And then I'm a different baseball player and someone comes up to me and goes, give me hugs. And I go, I don't fucking know you. I don't know you, man. So it kind of creates an environment where it's like we're going back to a early 2000s kind of no holds barred type of thing. Now, I did grow up in that era. I did like that type of stuff at the time. But now that I'm a little bit older, I see the gimmick of things and go, oh, this is kind of probably destructive. Yeah. That's not great.
Because at the end of the day, what people tend to or want to forget is that most of these scenes are staged.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
it's wrestling.
We have safe words. We have like extra people on set and everything, like stuff like that. And I feel like she's disregarding that. And we are very, very big on safety and testing as well, and consent. Like the big three.
Is that did I just come up with the analogy? Porn's a lot like wrestling, where guys get slapped in wrestling and it doesn't not hurt. Like if you're getting fucked, like you're going to feel it. You're getting fucked today. But it was all pre-planned beforehand. At the end of it, even if this guy was like dominating you, whatever, he'd be like, all right, good, great job today, Sarah. I'll see you later. Da-da-da. So it is fun. But we also have to live in that world. You wouldn't walk up to John Cena and punch him in the chest. Like, no, that guy might lay you the fuck out. So
exactly.
Yeah.
It's still entertainment.
It's still entertainment. That is the best thing to say. Okay.
Mind you, people have believed the scenarios that I've played in.
Sure.
Like these cheating wife, cheating girlfriend, stuff like that. Like I've had people come up to me and be like, wow, how could you cheat on your boyfriend like that? This, not a great man. Like, and I was like, ooh, first of all, that wasn't even my boyfriend. Like he was just an extra.
Look, it's all about the fans and we love the fans and they're so great. Now, if we could please stop sending my Twitter fucking private DMs thinking I'm the girl. I'm going to get 3 messages after this saying, hi, Sarah. Can you, we love you fans. We do. Can you fucking read though? Maybe if you check that out, you see I'm not her. I don't know. Where does the career go from here? Actually, no. Let me end on that question, but let me ask you this. And this is not a question I should ask in any way whatsoever. And I'm going to.
I want to hear it even more now.
Well, see, but it's odd. I don't even know if I can relate, and I want to because I've had these conversations before. But you're from Honduras, correct? Yeah. Okay, or that is your national. What is it? What do you say? Well, see, I don't know how to touch on race. I'm such a pale white loser. Like, what do I say? Like, you were from Texas, you said, but your nationality is Honduran. Okay, all right.
Mm-hmm. So both of my parents are from there.
Gotcha. Okay, all right. Well, then I have 2 questions. One, how do you feel when the industry will mislabel people? Because I've seen you as ebony porn star Sarah Lace like fucking 50 times.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
It's honestly, it can be pretty funny.
Sure.
Like honestly, for me, I kind of worry. Like, does this mean that I'm taking a job away from someone who's really ebony, or is this just like post-production where they're like, all right, well, we need 10 tags. Let's throw some in there.
Sure.
So that I feel like that's kind of where my question usually lies. But in a sense, I kind of am Afro-Latina, you know? So like, I do have a great grandpa that is Black.
Okay.
So I will say like, there is that connection regardless. Mm-hmm. I just feel like ebony really just means dark skin, and I'm nowhere close to that. So like, I don't know, put me wherever you want to put me, coach.
Last question I shouldn't ask, and then we're going to wrap this one up, but what is the biggest change that you think needs to happen to accommodate women of color in the industry? Is there anything? I spoke to Lily Starfire, who's a total sweetheart. She had one, I had no idea. She goes, I wish makeup artists knew how to work on Black girls. And I was like, Makes total sense. You don't want to look like a clown going out there. I get it.
Yeah.
Would you agree, or is there anything else you would think?
Absolutely, actually. That is actually what I was going to say as well, because I've been on set where they did not have my color. I usually will bring my own makeup bag. One, because prior military, always prepared, even if you don't need it, it's better to have it. But I always bring everything, especially my foundation, because there's been times where they've kind of switched things up on me. One time they were like, "Oh, the makeup artist canceled at the last minute. Can you do your makeup?" So luckily I had it with me.
Sure.
And then other times they just will not have my foundation. Either they don't carry the dark shades, or they just don't carry as many shades to be able to accommodate more people.
Wow. Okay.
Sometimes they'll have less than 20 foundations, and you're just like, okay, you have that many, you need to have a variety and not just all of the lighter shades.
This is a real ignorant question, but is there a woman in the industry who's known as the one who can get a darker complexion right? Not that you have to call her out, but is there someone bring Jane in? Jane will really be able to nail this, or no?
I will say there's not one specific one, but I can give you my favorite one from each big city.
Okay.
So for LA, we have Connie. I feel like everyone knows Connie. And then in Vegas, we have Ellie. And then in Miami, we have Natalie.
Shout out, ladies. You're doing a great job, especially with darker complexions, and we appreciate it very much so. Sarah, where's the career go from here? Are you going to do this 2 more years and decide you don't want to do it anymore? Are you going to make $10 million and tap out? Are we going to be doing gilf porn 50 years from now? What is, by the way, I interviewed Dee Dee White the other day, Seika Black. Yo, I'm not going to live as long as she is doing gangbangs. She's 71. Where do you see yourself in this career? Where is the end if there is an end?
So in my head, I have a very big evolution process to go. So currently I am a performer, and I do want to be a bit more of a producer. I kind of do produce my own scenes at the moment, but I want to actually be on a set. And on top of that, I actually have a very big dream of writing romance novels.
Interesting.
And my true dream is full 500-700 page romance novels, but I think I kind of want to start with short 100 to 200 page smut and turn that into scenes/movies.
I love that. I would even pivot further if you feel that you can't make the scenes in the movies in the quality you would want. I wonder if there's a podcast where you could do chapters and you could really highly produce it and almost like an audio play type of thing, because no offense, but most likely your target is going to be women there, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because guys can't read, essentially.
Yeah.
But your target is going to be women there, right? So I think about who really loves ASMR and who really loves the TikTok sounds and this and that. And if you could maybe bring that, you got a winner there, maybe. You got a winner.
Yeah, I can absolutely do that, because one of the things that I like to do is bring entertainment to everyone.
Sure.
Men, women, non-binary alike, and especially couples.
Okay. All right.
So, I want someone to be able to read my book or watch my porn and be like, babe, look at this. Can we recreate this? Stuff like that. I don't know.
I love it. No, I was smiling because that's the clip, I think, for the week. It was so good. Sarah Lace, my guest for the evening. You know exactly where you can find her. I am Sarah Lace. Links to everything, including the social media, the website, and the OF are in the episode description. Sarah, thank you so much for coming on with me tonight.
Thank you so much for having me. I enjoyed going deeper.